Good afternoon, my name is Екатерina and I represent the City School of Children's Creativity. My theme is ecology is a matter for each of us, not for certain authorities. Let's consider the definitions that I will use. Ecology is a science of the interactions of living organisms with each other and with their habitat. Ecological culture is a part of universal human culture, a system of social relations, social and individual moral and ethical norms concerning the relationship between man and nature. Summing up the results of the 20th century, the world community came to the conclusion that the threat to the existence of mankind is not so much in the field of nuclear energy, but in a catastrophic ecological situation. Paradoxically, but the main enemy of mankind today is man himself. The problem of ecology is urgent, and this problem has been dealt with for a long time. There is a large number of international and local environmental organizations that are fighting for the preservation of nature and the environment. We can name these organizations: Greenpeace, the Global Environmental Fund, Poor Earth. These organizations have proven their effectiveness, and we owe them much for the preservation of nature. But time has proven that no matter how effective the work of environmental organizations is, it is difficult for them to achieve absolute success without the participation of each of us. What are we missing? Let's figure it out. The first is environmental education. And education is effective if it comes from the family. We must teach ourselves and our close people to take care of nature. As an example, we can name the countries of Northern Europe, Finland, Sweden, in which good ecological situation is due to the general level of ecological culture. Thus, it proves that primarily success in nature conservation, depends on every person. The second is a question of control. Environmental organizations aren't able to watch each person and how humanity observes the rules of environmental culture. The only ones who can control us are we ourselves. So everyone knows how carefully the Japanese treat cleanliness and monitor its preservation. The result of it is a good real ecological situation. Well, the third, each of us can and should follow simple rules that can change the situation for the better. The first rule is to save resources. We don't even notice how much resources we waste every day. But saving energy and water is not so difficult. It is enough to turn off household appliances and light when they are not used. An example is the UK, where people use two separate taps, hot and cold, to save water. The second is to collect waste separately. In Kazakhstan, the practice of separate waste collection is just at the beginning. Over the years of non-separatable waste collection, we have accumulated 3.5 million tons of garbage, which are stored in huge landfills. That is why the separate collection of waste is so important for the further recycling of everything that can be recycled into new things and materials. The third is to choose eco-friendly transport. The most rewarding ways to get around are walking and cycling, or using public transport whenever possible. A vivid example is in Netherlands, where they actively use ecological transport. And of course, as a result, it is an industrial country with a good level of ecology. The fourth is to use reusable waste. Reducing waste is just as important as recycling it correctly. Choose products in packaging made from environmentally friendly materials like paper, glass, fabric. According to the UN, 5 trillion plastic bags are used annually in the world, and more than 60 countries have already introduced restrictions on their use. The result depends on the responsibility of each of us. In conclusion, I'd like to say that by helping nature, we are helping ourselves. Environmental organizations and government agencies will not able to track each person physically. So if everyone begins to follow the simplest rules of environmental culture, then we can change the situation for the better. The business of saving the environment begins with each of us. Thank you. Goodbye.